Tonight on Inside Louisiana Basketball, I sit down with Louisiana head coach Garry Brodhead and director of basketball operations Mike Murphy. Later, Brian Maggard joins us for Maggard Minutes. But first, let's head over to Dan McDonald and Eric Mouton to recap a huge week for men's basketball.
Thanks, Krista. We're here at the Cajun Dome. I'm Dan McDonald along with my partner Eric Mouton. And Eric, Cajuns have a split this week. They take a big win over Coastal Carolina. Then they struggle on the Sunday against Appalachian State. Break even in the Sun Belt Conference still puts their status as far as the conference standings pretty much up in jeopardy with 2 games to go.
Yeah, and it's huge for them. As well as they've been playing, they've got just as good a chance as anybody to go over there and win that tournament in New Orleans if they have the right seed.
Cajuns on Thursday night took a 83-70 win over Coastal Carolina. Ja'Keenan Gant was the big part of that one. He finished up with 29 points, 5 rebounds, one of 3 Cajuns in double figures. Louisiana shot 54% from the field in that game. Eric, what I thought was one of their better offensive execution games of the whole year.
Yeah, they really played well. They moved the ball. They're a team that leads the conference in assists, and when they share the basketball, a lot of times that leads to good shots.
Cedric Russell had 14 in that game. Marcus Stroman with 13. Cajuns were only 4 out of 16 from the three-point range in that game. Really didn't need it. One thing they did defensively was they held Coastal Carolina standout Zach Cuthbertson without a field goal in the game. He gets 6 points, all of them free throws. That shows you a little bit about what kind of defense the Cajuns played.
And you know Coach Marlin's going to stress defense, and they really got it done. They dug in. They defended and rebounded the basketball at a high rate on Thursday, which normally leads to wins.
On Sunday, though, it's a little bit different story. Appalachian State comes in for the last home game of the regular season. Senior Day, Cajuns honored Ja'Keenan Gant, Marcus Stroman, and the injured Malik Marquetti before the game. But Louisiana looked a little disjointed offensively right from the start, and give Appalachian State a lot of credit. They played very well start to finish in what became a 90-80 win.
Yeah, they definitely did. They kind of got Louisiana out of what they wanted to do offensively, and then they pounded the ball inside to some of the bigs from App State. They were able to finish early and then kick it out to their guards to make some shots.
Gant finished up with a double-double, 23 points and 15 rebounds in the game. 4 Cajuns in double figures. P.J. Hardy with 16, Cedric Russell with 14, and off the bench, Trajan Wesley with 11, but Appalachian State with 5 in double figures. Ronshad Shabazz, who had 47 points in the previous game against ULM on Thursday night, was, I say, held to 20 points. Really wasn't as big an offensive factor. He had a great supporting cast, though.
Yeah, he definitely did, and Stroman was guarding him and taking a lot of his offense away. He was sharing the basketball as well, and the bigs were finishing and then going to the line making free throws.
Appalachian State shoots 47% from the field, 37% from three-point range. Again, the Cajuns struggle a little bit from outside the arc, 7 for 24. They have a big rebound advantage, 44-34, but turned it over way too much.
And in that second half, we saw when we go inside to Gant, Louisiana would put it on the post. App State started doubling with their bigs, making him throw it out. They were able to hit a couple of shots, but also had a couple of turnovers on those double teams.
What this creates is now there is a 5-way tie, or rather a 3-way tie, for 5th place in the conference with 1 week to go. Cajuns have 2 games left. They'll take the Arkansas swing. They'll play road games against Arkansas State and Little Rock. And really, to ensure themselves that number 5 spot or even the number 6 spot and make sure that you avoid that play-in game, they really need to win 2 games on the road at Arkansas, and they're very capable of doing that.
Yeah, they definitely are, and you want to avoid that play-in game at all costs. Try to get over there a little bit later for that conference tournament. See if you can't win it and go to the big dance.
Cajuns have the 2 road games coming up, remainder in the regular season, and then they will advance to the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Appalachian State might have ensured themselves a spot with the win in the Cajun Dome. Once again, Cajuns split 2 this week. They defeat Coastal Carolina, and they fall to Appalachian State.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, Director of Basketball Operations Mike Murphy joins me to recap the week and talk seniors Ja'Keenan Gant, Malik Marquetti, and Marcus Stroman.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, manger. If you're happy and you know it, manger. If you're happy and you know it, nothing God will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, manger.
All this for the steakhouse bacon cheeseburger?
The smoky black pepper mayo deserve at least the full steakhouse treatment.
Very impressed.
Someone just walked in. We only have one tablecloth.
The Steakhouse Burger and Tots for only $4.99. Get them now and try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'm sitting down with Director of Basketball Operations, Mike Murphy. How are you today?
I'm great, thanks.
Good. So I want to talk with you about your last home set that you guys had this past week against Coastal Carolina and Appalachian State. Before going into the game on Thursday, you guys were tied for 5th place in the Sun Belt with ULM and Coastal Carolina. So how important was it for you guys to win that game on Thursday?
Very much so. Being in the three-way tie really helps our cause when you throw in tiebreakers. But for Coastal Carolina, since they had beaten us earlier in Myrtle Beach, it was imperative that we win that basketball game, even up the series, to help us down the road in case a tiebreaker scenario was going to come into place. As you said, we were all tied for 5th place going into that game, and us, Coastal Monroe, again are tied for 5th place after this week's competition. So the Coastal game was critical to our future opponent and seeding in the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
So you guys started off the game great and went on a 14-0 run before Coastal Carolina even was able to make a basket. So what attributed to that great start to the game?
Make shots. It's really that simple. We took good shots. We made good shots. Defensively, I thought we did a really good job of taking away what Coastal wanted to do. We rebounded the ball very well. But the whole key for our basketball team early in the game is to make shots, especially some three-pointers, to get into a rhythm to extend the defense, which is what we did against Coastal Carolina. And obviously we were able to hang on for a win because we knew Coastal would make a run, but our ability to make shots early gave us that early lead.
So you think making three-pointers is the biggest part in winning a game in college basketball right now?
I think the three-point line is critical to anybody's success in college basketball. And for us especially, because we are a guard-dominant team, and when you make threes early, you put a lot of pressure on the other team, you give yourself confidence, but you stretch defenses. And when we can make 3 points early and stretch a defense, that allows someone like Jakeenan Gant one-on-one in the post, and he's a Player of the Year candidate. That's to our favor. So you've got to make threes early to give yourself some confidence, but more importantly, to stretch the other team's defense to allow for one-on-one play at the basket.
So Jakeenan Gant, like you said, had a great game, had a great year, but a great game against Coastal Carolina, and so did Cedric Russell, who's progressed this year as well. So talk about his progression throughout this year.
Ced's done a great job for us. He's had to overcome some foot problems, which he's done. He was sick all last week. Most people don't realize that. He was sick all last week. He overcame that and did a great job for us. He's a sophomore. He's had his ups and downs, but he's really stayed with everything. He's worked every day in practice to make himself be the best player he can be. And he's one of those guys I was talking about from the three-point line that can stretch a defense. He's a really good shooter. He's a confident shooter. He can take the ball to the basket as well, but from when Cedric makes a couple threes early, that also opens up some ability for him to drive to the basket, which he did the week prior against Texas State and allowed us to make a comeback, although we fell short. But Ced's done a great job for us here as of late, and we're going to need that production as we go into the conference tournament.
Sunday you guys played Appalachian State, which was senior night. How was it meeting all of those families for the players and enjoying that special moment with them?
It was great. You know, and the senior night's kind of a bittersweet thing. You've got some great players. You want to see them get to that point where they are a senior, but you know you're losing them as well. And it's always a bittersweet time. Listen, our three seniors come from great families. Jakeenan Gant, Marcus Stroman, and Malik Marchetti are all top-notch kids. They all three came in as transfers, and we're so proud of what they've been able to do on and off the court. Obviously, Jakeenan has had a superb senior season. He scored his 1,000th point in 2 years. That's tough to do. Last year, Frank Bartley did that, but he scored 1,000 points in 2 years. He's either second or third in the conference in scoring. He's at the top in rebounding. He's at the top in block shots. He's near the top in field goal percentage. So he has had a senior year like none other. Malik Marquetti was headed in that same direction. He had had a career high against Louisiana Tech. Then he topped that against McNeese. Unfortunately, he got hurt against Southeastern Louisiana, which ended his season. We're trying to give Malik a 6th year. We know it's going to be difficult, but we're working on his behalf. Malik was a 6'6" kid, a guard-forward combination type player that could guard 3 positions. He could score from 3 positions on the floor, from behind the three-point line, at the basket, and at the free throw line. And Malik was really our defensive stopper on the perimeter. So we miss him a great deal. And Marcus Stroman has had another good year as a senior. He had a good year last year. He's at the top of the conference in assists, and he's done a really good job of running the show for us. But the one thing we're most proud about for all 3 of these guys is when they got here, they were player A. They're leaving player B. They've developed into leaders. They've developed into really good teammates, which is what you want out of your seniors. And they've had a successful 2-year run like few have had in this program. We won 27 games last year, an all-time high for regular season wins, and now they're having, all 3 guys were having solid seasons this year. But obviously Gant is the guy that gets all the attention because of what he's been able to do on the court, on both ends of the court, in terms of scoring and blocking shots. We miss Malik Marquetti like you wouldn't believe because of his versatility. And Stroman is a guy who's done a really good job for us at the point guard position. We've been real lucky here at UL. We had Alfred Payton, who became a lottery pick. We had Jay Wright, who became a 1,000-point scorer in 3 years, and then Marcus has taken up that mantle following those 2 guys and has done a really good job for us.
So we talked about Jakeenan, him having a great year. What do you think is next for him career-wise?
Time will tell. Obviously, the deeper we can run into the conference tournament and into the postseason, that's going to help his cause. I know he's getting some looks from different levels of basketball overseas and in the NBA. I think the future for Jakeenan is going to be dependent upon one thing. If you can get in front of the right guy at the right time and have the right game, you're going to give yourself an opportunity. He's been really consistent all year, both on defense and on offense, and scoring the basketball. The one thing the scouts like about Jakeenan is his ability to score at all 3 levels and protect the basket. But the deeper run we can make into the tournament, the Sun Belt tournament, and hopefully the NCAA tournament, that will help not just his cause, but any player who wants to play at that next level.
So like you mentioned, you guys are playing your last couple of games before the Sun Belt tournament. How do you feel about the team's success going into that tournament?
Well, it's critical we take care of business on Thursday against Little Rock and not look too far ahead to Arkansas State. It's 1 game at a time. There's going to be a mess, if you will, at the end of the regular season to see who's playing where in the conference tournament, who has what seed. The only thing we can control is what we do on Thursday against Little Rock. And after Little Rock, then we'll get into Arkansas State. But all our focus right now is on Little Rock and doing the best we can do on Thursday.
Thank you and good luck. Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, Athletic Director Brian Maggard joins us for Maggard Minutes.
Hello Cajun Nation, this is Brian Maggard, Athletics Director at the University of Louisiana. Over the next several days through the month of March and beyond, you will see us roll out information about our new RCF investment model. This new model will allow us to first and foremost recognize our investors at the true level that they are investing in our athletics program. So whether you're investing in the annual fund, a sport foundation account, paying a per-seat donation, or giving to a capital campaign, the sum of all your investments will be totaled, and you will be recognized accordingly based on that total amount. In addition, this new model will be much more user-friendly, easier to understand, but it will continue to reward loyalty, which is extremely important to us as a department, a university, and we know it's important to our fan base. We are several days, maybe a few weeks, into having what we hope to be final renderings, final designs, renovation options that will allow us as a department and university to make some decisions on how we want to proceed and move forward. Certainly this will be part of a university-wide capital campaign initiative. We know there will be monies to be raised to help fund this project, in addition to the revenue streams generated by the premium seating and other opportunities to generate revenues to bring this project to completion. But we're very excited about this opportunity and know it's something that Cajun Nation has been waiting for quite some time. Through this spring semester, to have completed by July 1 for a July 1 rollout, we internally are working with a committee of 20 individuals made up of athletic department staff members, university faculty and staff members, RCF investors, and people from the community to develop a 3-year strategic plan that will serve as a role model for us in what we want to accomplish between now and the next 3 years. During this process, we will develop a vision statement, mission statement, and a set of core values, all which will help guide us moving forward for the next 3 years in accomplishing the goals and strategic objectives that we need to accomplish. We had a great lunch hour with 5 individuals who I appreciate very much taking the time to spend with me. They presented excellent questions, very thought-provoking, but at the same time shed light for me on getting the pulse on maybe where Cajun Nation is today. But really enjoyed it. That's something that we want to continue, and I'd like to even see us grow that through other opportunities outside of the lunch hour. Sitting down with groups of 10 or fewer, to me, is a great way to become more intimate with and really delve into the concerns and praises of our fan base. The more we can learn from the voice of the fan base, the better we can be as a department, and we very much look forward to continuing this type of programming moving forward. So we're very excited to announce a 6-game home schedule, 7 games in the state of Louisiana as we kick off the 2019 season on August 31 against Mississippi State in the Superdome in New Orleans. We'll have 6 other home games at Cajun Field. 3 of those games will be nationally televised, and we have a good slate of Sun Belt competition coming to Cajun Field to include Appalachian State. And again, just very excited for the opportunity to kick off year 2 under Coach Napier. Well, we just look excited to the spring finally getting here. I believe we would all agree we've had enough rain and clouds, and so looking forward to the spring sports to continue to excel. Very excited about men's and women's tennis, softball, and baseball, and golf is under swing now, no pun intended. And so Coach Schleiman and the golf team are just coming off of a very productive and very positive LA Classics golf tournament. And so the spring is going to be very exciting, both competitively, but as we move things forward from an administrative and leadership standpoint.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, we sit down with women's head coach Garry Brodhead as he preps for a huge week in conference play.
The residence halls are very new, very clean, very nice. A lot of people get suite style rooms, which are 2-person to 1 room, and some nice perks to the residence halls are free laundry, and they even have an app, so it'll tell you when your laundry is ready, so that's sweet. They have weekly housekeeping, so you don't have to worry about your bathroom.
There's such a variety of food options on and off campus. You can get anything from Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut to crawfish etouffee and jambalaya. The meal plan is actually included in your room, so you're never going hungry when you live on campus. When there's something going on campus, you never have to worry about how you're going to get there because you're literally steps away. You can just walk. If I pull a late night studying or writing a paper, I can take those few extra minutes to sleep in because my class is 10 minutes away.
We have an amazing opportunity for our first year students where they can live in the residence halls and be a part of a living learning community. So these are small communities where students can make friends very quickly with other students that they have a lot in common with. For example, students who like the arts, they can live in Gateway to the Arts, and then they take classes together.
Building relationships has been just as easy as inviting people to go out to eat in the dining hall or inviting someone to study together in the library or the community room.
Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves, a Fritos Chili Pie, Juicy Junior Burger, or Junior Wrap. Does all this comfort come at a price? Yes, it starts at 99 cents. Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'm sitting down with Louisiana head coach Garry Brodhead. How are you?
Good, doing great.
Good. So I want to jump straight in and go into the game against Coastal Carolina. You guys started off strong, and you guys started off with some big baskets by Kendall Best. So what do you think went well for you guys, and what was working within that first quarter?
Well, you know, we were trying to get the ball inside, and Kendall brings that offensive threat, you know, and I thought she actually was very productive at that point. So we tried to get her a little bit more touches. You know, with Ty Doucette kind of being, you know, hurt a little bit, she got the start and you know, did a good job with it. You know, she's very offensive minded and a lot of up and unders, a little bit quicker than maybe they're big. So you know, it paid off, and we wanted to play inside out, and it really worked out good for the first quarter.
Besides Kendall taking over for Ty a little bit, what other adjustments did the team have to make up for Ty being hurt?
Rebounding. Yeah, she's a big time rebounder. I mean, at one time she was leading the country in double doubles. So, you know, we had to rebound as a team, and I thought we did a pretty good job in the game. You know, especially early on. You know, at the end of the game, we missed on some of them. You know, and keeping them from getting offensive boards. But that's a big adjustment for us because Ty could really rebound.
So by the end of the first half, you guys were down by 3. So what was the talk like in the locker room going into the second half?
You know, we talked about pressuring the ball more on the defensive side, and we actually started to press in the fourth quarter, and I thought we created some turnovers. I think they ended up with 25 turnovers, you know, and I think that was a big part of us making the comeback, you know, and had an opportunity with 30 seconds left to be down by 1 with the ball, and just didn't take advantage of that situation. But you know, that's part of the growing process is trying to get them more comfortable in those situations that are really, really tight.
Yeah, and you said it is a growing process. Like you said, you say all the time you have a young team, but is it frustrating for you as a coach when you guys win by lose by such a close margin?
Well, you know, yes, you get a little bit frustrated, but you know, you got to keep on going and trying to get better and stuff, and that's going to be the big part of us, you know, winning those close games is to get the experience.
So this, you guys played Appalachian State on Saturday, and this is the second matchup that you guys played against them. You won in the first time you played them. So what did you take out of that game to bring it to this next one?
Well, we were hoping we shot the ball as well as we did when we played them at the first game, and we made some stops, especially the third quarter. We held them to 6 points. But they came out, man, and I'll tell you what, we had no answer for them at all. They came out hitting shots, getting the ball inside, playing inside out. And kind of actually the first half kind of got away from us. The second half we played even. You know, we were able to kind of collect ourselves, shoot the ball a little bit better, and try to get to the rim a little bit more, and got a little bit more aggressive on the defensive side. But it was just, I think we just fell too far behind to really come back.
So Appalachian State is also #1 in the conference for defensive rebounding. So how did you guys prepare for that going into the game?
Well, you know, we always talk about how we need to rebound as a team, and that was one of the things that we worked on. We did a lot of rebounding drills and, you know, a lot of blocking out drills. They got them, you know, in Plummer, they really got one of the top rebounders in the whole conference. And so sometimes whoever was guarding her, we didn't really worry about that person rebounding. We're just keeping her off the boards.
So despite you guys being down by 20 towards the end of the game, the team kept going. They were giving it their best. So how proud does that make you as a coach, knowing that they always give it their all?
You know, I think that's the important thing in us moving forward is, can we continue to play hard no matter what the score is? And that's what's so great about these kids. You know, I think I'm proud of the fact that they practice hard every day. They show up ready to win. And, you know, in that game showed it, you know. So it's exciting for the future.
So you guys have your last 2 home games on Thursday and Saturday. So how are you feeling about those games going into the Sun Belt Conference?
You know, it's kind of good because we played them, you know, Arkansas State and Little Rock at the beginning of the season. And Little Rock's always the measuring stick for our conference. So now we get to play them at the end of the season and see this young team, see how we've grown, you know, and play them at home. And it's a great opportunity for us to see, you know, how much better we got and how we match up now toward the end of the season. Even against Arkansas State, you know, we fell a little short at Arkansas State when we feel pretty confident that we have an opportunity to get a win here because it's all bundled up. We really need some wins.
So we kind of spoke about this earlier, but you have no seniors on the team. They're all a young team. So is this your first time not having a senior night within the last home game?
There's no doubt this is the first time in a long time that I haven't had seniors, you know, and even juniors when you think about it, because we, you know, with Jasmine Thomas and Kim Burton out, those were the kids that were here before, you know, and so it's been a difficult year as far as for the, you know, finding the leadership, but at the same time, some of the other kids need to step up, and it's been a great experience, you know, even though it's been tough on some of them. This, you know, we'll be able to, you know, take this and continue to get better.
Well, good luck on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Next on Inside Louisiana Basketball, we take a look at the upcoming schedules for Ragin Cajuns basketball.
Crunchy Fritos, warm, melty cheese, all together for 99 cents.
It's like a warm chili cheese Fritos family reunion.
Yeah, I feel warm just thinking about them.
That's the chili. I feel it too.
Hurry in for Sonic's Fritos Chili Cheese Faves starting at 99 cents. And try order ahead to get happy hour anytime.
Truly, there is something for everyone here, from moving image arts to nursing to petroleum engineering to education to voice to photography to political science to anthropology to sociology. I can't list the almost hundreds of opportunities that students have to find the perfect fit and the major that best represents what they would love to do.
We have alternate certification programs, master's programs, doctoral programs, in addition to hybrid and online classes. So a student can definitely find his or her passion as far as what they want to do.
Not only are we going to find the major that is the best fit for our students, but we're going to make sure they graduate. We have one of the highest graduation rates in the state, and among our student athletes, in fact, we have the highest in the Sun Belt Conference.
Knowing that UL Lafayette has one of the top graduation rates in the state makes me feel much more secure in my decision to come here, and it makes me feel very excited and confident for my time after I leave campus.
We have everything here to be able to make sure that the students have the support they need as they go through the process. From a writing center that'll look over papers and proofread them for you, to free tutoring services that students can walk in on demand and say, physics is not my thing, can you please give me a little bit of help? We have prep classes for the GRE, we have prep classes for the LSAT. We look at medical school and pre-med and law school and business school. We have MBA programs. We have many, many PhD programs so that students can further their education as they progress.
Thanks for watching another episode of Inside Louisiana Basketball. I'll be leaving you with the upcoming schedules for Ragin Cajuns basketball. Happy Mardi Gras!